Here we go, Lesson 8. In this lesson, we're going to take up the issue of cash flow statements in particular. And our learning objectives for the chapter include preparing the operating activities section of the statement of cash flows using the indirect method. And then our second is to do the same using the direct method. And we'll distinguish between those two as we discuss it. Learning objectives 3 and 4 include preparing the investing activities section and preparing the financing activities section. Note that there are 3 sections in the cash flow statement. They include operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities, and these are all cash flows but for different purposes. Operations would be the day-to-day activity of the firm, the way in which it earns its profit or income. Investing is the acquisition of financial assets and their disposal. It also includes physical assets. So if we were to buy larger long-term assets like buildings and equipment, that would be part of investing. Financing is the cash flow that comes from borrowing or repaying money either on a debt basis by loans or on an equity basis by issuing stock. And therefore would include also dividend treatments. In order to prepare for this lesson, you are to read Chapter 12, the Statement of Cash Flows, and we'll take a look at one discussion question only. And in this one, page 648 to 668, we'll look at items 2A, 4A, 8A, 11A, 15A, 17B, and 18B, and 21B. And that will complete the work for the lesson. The sooner you get that in, the sooner I can grade it. In this particular lesson, do not forget that the test has to be completed by Sunday, and so you want to make sure you get that in because the class will be closing and we'll be preparing grades during the off week. So next week is no class. The following week, summer session begins, and so we want to be prepared for that by getting your final test, test number 8. Make sure you don't miss that one. You can afford to miss a couple questions on it, but you can't afford to miss the entire test. That will give you a complete set of activities. If you've done all of the exercises and taken all of the tests, I can assure you of a grade of an A or a B at least. If you, most likely an A, if you've actually completed everything. I noticed the completion rate was mostly on time and almost entirely correct. So very, very pleased with that outcome. The tests, most of you did quite well on those tests. They were relatively simple, multiple choice questions, dealing largely with vocabulary issues, and that's what we wanted to do at the outset. If you recollect, probably one of the first things I said in class the first day was, we're learning a new language here and expanding your vocabulary so that you know when people talk business, what are they actually referring to with these terms that are not used in everyday speech. And now you suddenly are a new language learner and doing quite well at it, I must say. So look forward to next semester as you pursue your degree here at IAU, and I look forward to perhaps having many of you back in some of the more advanced classes we'll be offering. Thank you very much, and you have a splendid week. We'll see you in class shortly.